Sunday shopping. Some people in Highland want to change a long-standing restriction, but not everyone is on board.
Street signs. Orem is putting an end to many of the ads. Why businesses say this is a bad move.
And finding fuel. Gas prices are rising around the country, but where does your gas actually come from? Well, you might be surprised. I'm Ashley Munguia.
And I'm Taylor Lansford. It's Wednesday, October 10th, and in Utah, it's 12 o'clock.
From KBYU and the BYU Department of Communications. This is the award-winning 11 News at noon.
Highland businesses are currently closed on Sundays because of a city regulation, but that soon could change. 11 News reporter Eliza Bishop went to find out if this might become a day of work. So Eliza, how long has this regulation been around?
Well, since the 90s, Highland has had restrictions on Sunday business. The City Council passed a resolution recommending 7 days of business, but it'll take a citywide vote to make the repeal official.
People in Highland have mixed opinions when it comes to Sunday business.
It gives us a day to be together and a day of rest. I think everyone deserves that and needs that.
But Highland homeowner Chad Copier says the issue comes down to a fair application of the law in allowing people and property owners to choose what they'd want to do. Some fear tax generation is the reason behind this new option, that Sunday businesses mean more taxable revenue.
The taxes were part of the issue, but not the big issue. The big issue for driving it is should a city limit a business and dictate what they should be doing.
Many Highland homeowners say community, and that businesses open on Sunday could ruin that.
If people move here because they see something special, something fantastic, they want to be part of this. Let's keep this place the way we've got it.
The religious tradition of a Sabbath day plays a role as well, with most in Highland viewing Sunday as a day of rest. But some homeowners were quick to point out that just because businesses can be open on Sunday doesn't mean they have to be open, a sentiment shared by Kevin Johnson.
And we've never been open on Sundays. There would be no reason we would start.
The council is sending the issue to November's ballot box. If passed, businesses can open on Sunday but don't have to.
So Eliza, it sounds like the city council there already voted, so why didn't that change the law?
Well, what they passed was a resolution of support. It's not an actual binding change to the ordinance. Instead, they're going to let the people of Highland decide.
All right, democracy in action. Thanks, Eliza.
A Mapleton Little League football coach found himself arrested after a weekend football game. Witnesses say Nathan K. Harrison knocked down a 7th grader from the opposing Payson team. Harris may face charges of second-degree felony child abuse. His attorney says the player was running towards the coach and that Harris never entered the field of play. The boy has a concussion and won't play again this season. A Provo woman saw a man that she says was stealing her bike and then decided to chase him down even though she was barefoot. Police say Randy Johnson kept on going even though the woman was chasing him. She got some help from a stranger in a car and followed him while calling police. Officers cornered him and arrested him near a grocery store. And even though things turned out well, police do not recommend chasing criminals.
A fugitive that Sanpete County deputies are searching for may have been in a Fairview Canyon last week. The sheriff's office say they found evidence of 44-year-old Troy James Knapp's camp spot, but they didn't find him there. Police suspect Knapp in a series of cabin break-ins where food, supplies, and firearms disappeared. With elk hunting season coming up, authorities say they fear Knapp will blend in with the other hunters, making him harder to catch.
Say goodbye to crowded signs on State Street. The Orem City Council passed a change to the city code, making temporary signs on State Street illegal. As 11 News reporter Ashley Hudson tells us, some business owners are not happy.
Both businessmen and beautification committee members turned out to last night's Orem City Council meeting. A tight vote will now change the way State Street looks to drivers.
Controversy reigned at last night's Orem City Council meeting about sign clutter on State Street and the legality of temporary signs. City officials haven't enforced sign regulation in almost a year. The City Council, Beautification Commission, and local businesses debated over the past few months whether State Street needed a cleanup. The council began discussing temporary sign enforcement last December, and business owners joined the discussion for more than 7 months. But last night's 4-3 vote means most Orem businesses can only have 2 portable signs along University Parkway and none along State Street. The city will continue to allow banner, holiday, and window signs, but no street-side temporary signs. The chairman of the Beautification Commission says this is a step forward for the community, that removing signs will begin to beautify State Street.
It's just not a very attractive street. I've had businesses actually come to me and say, State Street looks like sometimes like a third world country.
Business owners like Carlos Iglesias say they fear taking away temporary signs will run businesses out and impact sales in Orem.
It was a compromise, but it wasn't I'm not completely happy with it. Yes, it doesn't affect my business directly, but I'm a citizen here and it does affect them.
Temporary signs on University Parkway larger than 16 square feet may be okay. The council says they will consider those case by case.
It turns out that a botulism outbreak in Utah State Prison is a result of a week-old potato. The Center for Disease Control say that 8 inmates got sick after consuming potato in their cell-brewed alcohol last year. Botulism is a serious illness and can cause paralysis and even death. The Corrections Department can't release the medical status of the inmates because of privacy issues.
That's so weird. From a potato?
Disgusting.
Gross. When 11 News at noon returns. Feather fallout, why Big Bird is still a hot topic on the campaign trail.
And oil origin. You may think Utah's gas comes from the Middle East, but it actually comes from a little closer to home. We'll be right back.
The Obama campaign is in big trouble, or should I say Big Bird trouble. President Obama's team used Big Bird in an ad after Mitt Romney pledged to cut funding to PBS in the Denver debate. The people at Sesame Workshop are asking them to take it down. The company says they're a nonpartisan organization and they don't want to get involved in the race.
I'm going to stop the subsidy to
A Pennsylvania teenager is getting support for supporting Mitt Romney. 16-year-old Sam Pelosi says her teacher compared her Romney-Ryan shirt to a KKK shirt. People from around the community came to support her on her first day back to school. After the incident, the teacher says she was just joking, and everyone is blowing this out of proportion.
People in South Carolina are protesting a new voter law they say targets minorities. The law requires that people have an ID and when they go to the polls on Election Day. Critics say that African Americans, the elderly, and the poor in South Carolina often don't carry IDs. But supporters of the new law say it will go a long way towards ending voter fraud. And with Election Day approaching, voters are concerned about prices on commodities, including gas. 11 News reporter Andrew Clay is live in Provo. Andrew, what's going to happen to my gas tank?
Well, Taylor, no matter where you live, forking over a chunk of change for gas is a harsh reality. However, people I've spoken with here in Provo seem to think that we get our oil from the Middle East. Well, that's just not the case. Contrary to popular belief, Utah gets its petroleum from Colorado, Wyoming, and even some from Canada. In light of California's recent record-high gas prices, many Utahns are concerned about what could happen here at home. BYU geology professor Tom Morris says that won't make a difference here.
If you look across the United States, oil and gas really doesn't change all that much other than the local and state taxes. That's what causes the great fluctuation, more so than really what the price of crude is.
Regulations and supply and demand are what account for price differences from state to state. But customers aren't the only ones feeling the financial strain.
We find that, people have to save, to make their dollars, stretch. So it's hard on us when they raise. It's definitely not something we like.
High gas prices often slowly transitions to natural gas and alternative energy sources. This will decrease the demand drop. Although a trip to the pump can be depressing, Utah's Provo, Andrew Clay, 11 News.
So, Andrew, where does Utah fall on the spectrum of gas prices?
Well, currently we're 18th lowest in the nation. California takes the cake with $4.65 a gallon.
Whoa, I cannot imagine paying $5 for a tank of gas. No.
Well, me neither, but I'm glad it's where it is.
All right, thanks, Andrew.
Thank you.
Logan Animal Control say they got a really strange call yesterday. A 130-pound tortoise on the loose. He took a stroll down the street after escaping from his pen. Officials say he made it about a block and a half before they picked him up and took him back home. His owner says the reptile is very social and probably liked all the attention. Red and yellow leaves in Provo Canyon, you may be running out of time. Leaves on the Alpine Loop are already brightly colored. Also, the colorful scenery may. Leaves aren't the only thing you find along the loop. You might see turkeys, like these, crossing the road. Regular joggers of the loop say they enjoy this time of the year.
Mountains are all gorgeous, and when the leaves turn, like it peaked probably about 2 weeks ago.
Close near the end of good weather for that.
From the break, it might not be such good weather, so you might want to get out there pretty soon. I'll let you know when we come back. Good afternoon. Take a look outside. How beautiful is this in the sky? And if you take a look right here, right around here, this is where the stadium is. Homecoming week is this week. There's lots of activities going on, and this is right where we're going to be playing that football game. I won't be playing, but I'll definitely be rooting for the team. This is behind the Hinckley Center. It's just a beautiful day. Taking a look at the temperatures right now, it is 63 degrees with 35% humidity and 6 miles per hour of wind speed. If we take a look at what's going to happen today, we've got just a few of these clouds in the sky right now, and there's going to be more and more as we move on towards the night. If we take a look at what's going to happen tonight, I'll show you that it's going to be pretty overcast, lots of clouds, a low of 46 degrees, and sunset comes in at 6:54 p.m. So if you wanted to go out and see those leaves, get there before 6:54 because otherwise there will be no sun. Taking a look at the highs across the state right now, it'll be in the 70s mostly throughout the whole entire state, but take a look at this. Going to come up right now. Look at that, Cedar City. 68 degrees, kind of a little bit colder than usual. We are going to expect some thunderstorms perhaps today, definitely tomorrow and Friday. Those are days where we should look for more rain. We've got this cloud system, this storm coming through California, northern Utah, so we're going to have the same pattern. No rain. I don't know why there's drought supposed to be there. We should actually see a cloudy but clear enough for no rain kind of day. So definitely go cheer on the Cougars. Hopefully you are. That will be a really good thing to do. It will be cool. So
all right, well,
definitely
make sure
a good time.
If you are going to the game, bundle up in black.
That's right.
The team is asking us to wear black, blackout. Have you seen their new helmets and their uniforms?
I haven't, but
look matte, like matte black. They look really cool.
Well, they're going to look great at the game.
Speaking of football season, I know it's midway through football season, but oh my gosh, I can feel it in the air. In the air.
Basketball.
Ben, what do you got for us?
Well, the team's going to be on the hardwood again in 2 weeks. Today is media day, and we're hearing some news from some of the players coming up. Next on sports, the WAC is back in Utah County. Can a stronger conference make UVU another in-state rival for the Cougars? And avoiding elimination, Oakland and San Francisco try to stay alive after falling into an 0-2 hole in the playoffs. Sports is next. Stay tuned. Season, but today marks the start. The team will improve on its 27th freshman. Cooper tells us Cougar another look
to the next level as a member of the Western Athletic Conference. They say this will bring more credibility to their school.
BYU sports fans are very familiar with the Western Athletic Conference. Utah Valley University is officially the conference's newest member and will make the move starting in 2013. UVU Athletic Director Michael Jacobson says this brings more than just sports opponents.
The WAC has a great brand. You know, they've been around for a long time, over 50 years, and you know, there's a huge
Jacobson Conference will help not
within our two schools.
The women's soccer team is one of many UVU teams that dominate their current Great West Conference. The move to the WAC will be a big step up, but it is one they say that they are ready to take.
The undisputed conference champions. We've won the conference championship every year that we've.
Our team lost a close game to BYU this season 1-0, and players say the foundation for a BYU rivalry is already there.
Since we played them this year, I think it is going to be a close game, and
UVU will have a football team. The school says it hasn't ruled out the
5 divisional elimination and forced a 4th game. Over Detroit, try and win one more and stay alive again.
You know, I'm still a little ticked that my Rangers will not be about that.
But you know, in A-Rod, you gotta say it.
Man.
All right, thanks, Ben.
Thanks, Ben.
Still to come on 11 News at noon. Turkey terror, why this bird just won't go away, and what's the neighborhood thinks of this new stalker. We'll be right back.